Icewind, Rime of the Frostmaiden, is the latest official 5th edition Dungeons & Dragons adventure hardback released from the team at Wizards of the Coast. Welcome to the mysterious and horrific frozen spine of the world. I've put a lot of thought and research into the spoil-free review of Icewind, Rime of the Frostmaiden. The only other thing a Dungeon Master needs to successfully run this adventure are the 3 main core rule books. They are the Dungeon Master's Guide, the Player's Handbook, and the Monster Manual. Over the course of the next several weeks, I will be covering a spoiler-free look at the main aspects and features of the latest installment of the growing 5th edition library of Dungeons & Dragons adventures. This campaign setting takes place in a location where R.A. Salvador set the Crystal Shard, Streams of Silver, and the Halfling's Gem trilogy of novels, featuring the most famous Ranger Drow in all of Forgotten Realms, Drizzt Do'Urden. Unfortunately, there are no encounters with Drizzt. This adventure takes place some 100 years after the Icedale trilogy. Rime of the Frostmaiden is designed for 4 to 6 players, starting out at level 1 and adventuring all the way up to level 11. This is a jam-packed 320-page adventure campaign setting. It is filled with various things to do in the frostbitten north regions of Forgotten Realms, and has a large removable poster-sized player's map in the back. Now, before I go into any further details, I need to ask you a few simple questions. And please put all your answers in the comment section down below. What is your character's background? How did you end up in 10 Towns? Do you have any connections? Do any of the factions aiming to get a foothold in 10 Towns? What is a dark secret, if any, that you are hiding from your companions? Because, as some of the most unfortunate adventurers who have come to Icewind Dale have found out, harboring a secret for too long can be detrimental to one's health. If you like this presentation so far, hit that little like button down there at the bottom to tell me so. Rime of the Frostmaiden has 3 main focus points. First, there is the Perpetual Winter and Curse of Darkness that was placed over Icewind Dale by the evil goddess Arl. Second, there is Zardok Sunblight, a Duergar warlock, who is hell-bent on gathering massive amounts of Shardland crystals to lay waste to 10 Towns. These crystals are the exploded shard remains of the Crystal Tower, Cryshel Tirith. Then, lastly, there is the once glorious floating city of magic that fell from the heavens during the Great War, now trapped in a glacier and lost from the world's eyes forever. It's a pleasant relief to see a non-linear approach here. I'm not a fan of railroad missions at all, unless it's a last resort effort to try and get players back on track. The first 80 pages of the Rime of the Frostmaiden starts our heroes out in 10 Towns. Here is where they must perform several tasks, going from town to town, to gain the trust of the inhabitants and to make a name for themselves. Reputation here is a really big thing. I feel that the description of each of these towns is vividly detailed. They almost sound like real-world locations to me. 10 Towns is a 400-year-old settlement, and each of its towns are independent from each other and are governed by elected officials, who speak on behalf of their town when a joint town meeting takes place. It's very few and far between when this happens. Life here was once prosperous in 10 Towns. That is, of course, until the horrible curse of Perpetual Winter and Everlasting Darkness took place. I've noticed the people living here basically have the same attitudes and outlook found in most people living in the northern regions of our world. Most of the inhabitants will say, "I was born and raised here, I expect to die here as well." While some outcasts and fugitives have migrated their way here to find fortune or to escape a lifestyle that they would like to forget. The people living in 10 Towns are hardened and accustomed to a harsh climate that they live in. Most of the townsfolk are fishers, loggers, trappers of large game, and furriers. Miners who are working in the caverns outside of the area come into town once in a while looking for a game of chance and to blow off steam in the local taverns. Most of the ports here are frozen over, and trade with the outside world is limited. Trees here are sparse, so they are harvested from the spine of the world or the depths of lonely wood forest. All the buildings here have high-pitched roofs to keep the snow from collecting on them. Like mostly every other Dungeons & Dragons adventure, every town has its quests and, of course, its rumors. Everyone residing here wears several layers of woolen clothing to keep the warmth in, and they are adorned with fur cloaks. In the outside world, everyone looks alike. Even the scoundrels and some bipedal creatures trying to blend in. It is the hero's place to go from town to town, gaining experience and building a reputation along the way to the town folk of 10 towns. This is not to be taken lightly. Be warned, for the course of the hero's actions will determine a series of future events. Several marvelous creatures also live in the surrounding areas of the Icewind Dale. There are roughly 50 pages dedicated to the inhabitants and creatures residing here that are not listed in the monster manual. By the time the players have finished with their questing around 10 towns, they should be at least 4th level. Are you ready to see how you'll fit in with the locals? Most outsiders don't make it that far in the frozen spine of the world. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit that bell icon to be notified when new videos are posted. Up here is a playlist of my spoiler-free module reviews that I have done in the past. I think that you'll like them. Next time, we'll be taking a look at the suggested character creation outlined in the book. Till next time, thank you for watching, and you have a great day.